Right. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. Hope you can hear me. Please confirm if you are able to hear me. At least you
Yes,
can confirm in the chat box. Yeah, thank you. So let's start our session. So in the previous session, we have seen about like how can we create a Linux server in the AWS cloud. So for creating a Linux server in the AWS cloud, we we are going to a service called EC2. There is a service called EC2, and here in this EC2 dashboard, okay, you can see here we can open this EC2 dashboard, and here we can see how can we launch a server. We can see like instances, how many instances are running, all those things we can see here. But for now, we can see that the instance is running here as 0. If we want to create a new instance, we can create, and we can launch it. We can connect to the server and we can practice some Linux commands. Okay, today our agenda is mainly like to practice some Linux commands. And once we are done with the basic Linux commands, then we will move on to the shell scripting. Okay, we will discuss what is shell scripting, why we need shell scripting and all. Okay, at least we should have some basic knowledge on shell scripting also. Okay, let's start. Let's begin. I'm going to click on these instances running. I don't have any instances running now. So what I'm doing is like I'm going to click on launch instance. So what are all the steps required for launching an instance? We have already seen in the previous session. So I'm going to launch a server. For that, I'm just giving the name of the server as Linux server. I'm selecting Amazon Linux operating system. And if you see here, this is eligible for free tier. When you select Amazon Linux, please make sure whether it is showing like free tier eligible or not. Why we need to check is because if it is eligible for free tier, then billing will not be imposed for us. Okay, otherwise you will be imposed with some charges and all. So to avoid those charges, okay, to avoid those charges, you can try from this one. You can see here whether you are selecting the free tier eligible ones or not. Okay. So the next one is like we need to select the instance type. I have selected T2.micro key pair. See, yesterday I've already created a key pair. So once you create a key pair, that key pair will be usually the key pairs will be available in your local machine, right? And you can select the same key pair while creating any another instance also. For example, yesterday we clicked on this create new key pair option, and we have provided some name. We have just gone for RSA format .pem. We just clicked on create new key pair. So that time we have seen that key pair is downloaded to my local machine. And what is the name that I provided is this one. DevOps 29 KP is the name that is provided when I downloaded the key pair. So the key pair is this key pair is available in my machine. So if we wanted to use the same key pair, we can go for using the same key pair. Okay, that's not a problem. Otherwise, if you want to go with a new key pair, yes, you can go with the new key pair. So network settings, for now, I am not modifying any network settings. If we want to discuss about this network settings, it's a vast subject. That's the reason why we need to start this in the AWS services. So we need to understand what is a VPC. Okay, we need to understand VPC. VPC is nothing but a virtual private cloud. We need to understand what is VPC, what is subnet, how we are going to create VPC, how we are going to create subnets, and then we will understand these network settings. Until then, we cannot understand this network settings. That's the reason why I am going with the default settings only, default network settings only. Okay, if I want to launch any server, I can go with the default network settings. Okay, otherwise, if I create my VPC, then I can also launch the server in my VPC also. Okay, so for now, it is default settings only. I am not making any changes here. Coming down, storage is by default 8 GB. I am not increasing. I'm going with the same 8 GB one only. I'm just launching an instance. That's it. So once instance is launched, I can connect to the instance and I can run some Linux commands. So successfully initiated. I'll go to the instances here and I can see the Linux server is up and running. The instance type that we have selected is T2.micro. And here we are having See, the instance type is t2.micro. So we need to understand the statistics. We'll understand this later, okay? While we discuss about the EC2 service, all those things. For now, I'll try to connect to these servers. Okay, if anything, so there are many things that we need to understand under EC2 service. Don't think that we are not going through all those things. Okay, we will discuss when we come across the AWS cloud. We will when we start the AWS services. Okay, I'm selecting this Linux server. I'm going to click on connect. Just coming down, we are just connecting to the just clicking on connect button, so that I will be connecting to this machine through the browser. Okay, through the internet with the help of internet. You say I'm just clicking on this server. I'm selecting the server, going for the connect button. There is an option called EC2 instance connect. So now how we are connecting to this instance, there are many ways, there are many methods. Okay, we have many methods for connecting to this server. So we can connect to the server by using any of the methods. For now, I am connecting to the server by using EC2 instance connect. So that's how I connected now. Okay, that's how I connected. And now you see, you can see here. So how can you confirm that you got connected to the server? You see, this is the IP address of the server. Where we can find this IP address, you can go to the machine. This is the EC2 instance that we created. If this is the instance that we created, you can just click on the instance details. And you see what is the IP address that I am able to see here, 172.31.9. 172.31.9. This is the IP address that will show. Okay. So how can we confirm that we got connected to this particular server? Based on the IP address only. You can see the private IP address that is showing here, and you can check what is the IP address that it is also displaying, so that we can understand easily. Yes, we got connected to the server. And what about this EC2 user? This is nothing but a username. All the regular users, you see, whenever I connected to this server, so it is showing like EC2 user. If you have any doubt in understanding what is EC2 user, EC2 user is nothing but the username. Username. Okay. So even you can, we will go through the Linux commands and then we will understand. Suppose I am the EC2 user. I just log in as an EC2 user, normal user. Okay. EC2 user is nothing but a normal user. I want to switch. Okay. I would like to switch to the root user. Hope you know there are multiple users. Actually, we can, Linux is a multi-user operating system, right? Linux is a multi-user operating system. Multiple users will work on Linux usually. Multiple users can log in and multiple users can multiple users can connect and they can perform their tasks. So EC2 user is nothing but a regular user. If I want to switch to the root user, I am just giving a command called sudo su hyphen. So this is a command. This is the basic Linux command. You know, this is a Linux command which is used to switch from normal user to the root user. What is normal user? Now here we can see this is a normal user. EC2 user is a normal user. I would like to switch from this EC2 user to the root user. So sudo su hyphen is a command. Sudo stands for super user do. Sudo stands for super user do. Su stands for we are going to switch user. Okay, we are going to switch to the super user. I am just running this command sudo su hyphen, so that I am just switching. And you can see the username earlier. The username was EC2 user, and now the username is root. What is the difference? Who is having more privileges? Nothing is there. Root user is like an admin. Root user is like an admin. Usually admins will have more privileges, right? If we want to install any software, or if we want to run any commands, usually root user will have more privileges than when compared to the normal users. So if you want to log in as a root user to get the admin privileges, okay, to get the admin privileges, we can log in as a root user by using a command called sudo su hyphen. This is the command we use. Sudo su hyphen is the command we use for just logging into the login as a root user. Now I am the root user. I'm just using a clear command. You see, the clear command in Linux. Clear command in Linux will clear the screen. I don't want anything to be display on the screen. I want to clear the screen. That time I can use a command called clear. So now we got two commands. We understood two commands. Sudo su hyphen is one Linux command, which is used for switching from normal user to the root user. And we also understood the clear command. Clear is mainly for clearing the screen. Okay. So now I am the root user. Okay. Now I am the root user. So I just wanted to create a file. Okay. I want to create a file here in the Linux operating system. So if I want to create any file on my desktop environment, how to create a file? You know that I'm going for giving a right click here, show more options, new. I'm just creating a file. Like I can create a text document, I can create a Word document, I can create a publisher document. So I'm just creating a text document. So what can I call here it as? It is a file. I'm just creating a file in the Windows environment. It's very easy to create a file. It is very easy to create a file in the Linux environment, in the Windows environment. I'm able to see one file. Let's say this is also a file. You can see there is a PowerPoint presentation file, and there is a Word document, there is a notepad. Everything is being called as a file here. Okay. But when we come to the Linux environment, how to create a file? How we are going to create a file? So let me tell you, if I want to create an empty file, I'll use a command called touch space file name. What is the syntax? The syntax that we provide for creating a file is touch space file name. So file one, I want to create an empty file. I want to create an empty file with file name called file one. So that's the reason why I'm giving touch space file name. Do you know what is the purpose of touch command in Linux? Touch is used to create an empty files. I'm running this command, touch space file one. What happens now? An empty file will be created. What is the name of the file that we provided? File one. So how to verify whether our file is created or not? What is the command that we use? Just run ls command. Just run ls command so that we see a file is created here. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm running a command. I'm just giving a command called touch space file name so that the file is being created, an empty file is being created, and try to understand the touch command is the basic command in the Linux, mainly for creating an empty files. So that I'm creating an empty file here. If I want to verify, if I want to cross check whether the file is created or not, yes, I am giving a command called ls. I am running a command called ls. It is showing the file one is there, file one is created. Then what is the meaning of ls command? Ls is also a basic Linux command, which will display the list of files and directories that were created. List of files and directories that were created. So now I created a file with a name called file one. I created an empty file. Is there any content here? Do you have any content here? Let's make this as an interactive session, okay? So that we will be good, I think, actually. Kaushik or Venkat, anyone. Kaushik, you can see here. Do we have any contents in this file? No, we don't have any contents in this file. So how to know whether there are any contents in that file or not? Is there any command for us to see if we have any contents in this file or not? Yes, we can use a command called cat space file name. I'm just using a command called cat space file name to see if we have any contents inside this file. Yes, I'm just running this command to see. So it is not displaying anything. We have a file called file one, and I'm using cat command. What is the purpose of cat command? Cat is also a Linux command. It will display the contents. If there are any contents in the file, it will just display those contents. So there are no contents in file one now. That's the reason why it is not displaying any contents. We don't have any contents now. So let's understand how to provide some contents, how to add some contents to the file. How can we add some contents to the file? There are many ways to add the contents to the file, but let's see. We are going to use this command called vi space file one. We are going to use a command called vi space file one. Do you know what is this vi? Vi is an editor actually. Vi is an editor. Vi is an editor. Okay. So through vi editor, we can edit the file and we can give some commands. So for that reason, what I'm doing, I'm just running a command called vi space file1. I'm just running this command. Okay. So you will understand what will happen if I use vi space file1. So this is how the editor opens. Once you run the command, this is how the editor opens. And here, if you want to give any contents, you can press insert button. You can press insert button and you can type any of the content here. I'm just typing, you see, I'm giving welcome to DevOps course. Okay. I'm just typing some contents here, escape, shift colon, WQ. Okay. If you are not aware of this VI editor also, we will be discussing about this VI editor. No problem, no worries. Okay. So what I'm doing is I have opened the file by using VI editor. I just provided some content and I saved the content. I will show you again how I am saving the contents and all. Now I am running a command called cat space file1 to see the contents. Can you see here, whatever the content that I have provided inside the file, the same content I could able to see now. Yes, the same content I could able to see now. Cat space file1. I'm just giving a command called cat space file1. You know what is the purpose of cat command? Cat is mainly for displaying the contents in the file. Displaying the contents in the file. If I want to add one more line, what I am doing, I am going through the VI editor, VI space file name, enter. Again, you need to press insert button. After pressing insert button, you need to add one more content. What I am doing is, I am going to add welcome to AWS course. Maybe you might not able to see the contents exactly here. That is the editor issue, VI editor issue. Okay. I will tell you, like, if the VI editor is not working properly, we have other options also. I'll tell you. Escape, shift colon, escape colon, WQ. To save the contents, you need to use colon WQ. Okay. Shift colon WQ. Escape. I just pressed the enter button. Now you see cat space file1. You see here, I have just provided the content like welcome to DevOps course, welcome to AWS course. I am editing the file and I'm saving the contents. Okay.
Uh,
So, yeah. Yes, please.
Sorry to disturb you, Vamshi. I don't know why for me, like when I went to the visual the editor, um, I'm unable to find the insert button, and also I'm unable to go back.
Yeah. So let me show you. So you got connected to the Linux server. You are connecting to the Linux server.
Yeah.
Yeah, connecting to the Linux server. Then now what you are doing, you are just creating any file. Okay. Try to create any file and use
Hmm?
vi space file name. Okay. So once after using this file name, once after editing the file, once after opening the file like this, are you able to open the file like this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got the same one.
Yes. So now the insert button, you cannot see the insert button here on the screen. So from your keyboard, you just press I. Okay, press
Okay.
I key, I, so
Okay.
that it will be like insert on the screen. Okay, you can see that insert.
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw that, right? Now you can able to type any of the content. Okay, you can type any of the content now. So
Okay.
you just type like welcome, something like that. So after giving some content, use escape button from your keyboard. Escape
Okay.
colon colon.
Yeah, but even though if I press escape, uh, I'm unable to see the screen which you are getting right now. Like it's a different for me. Like it's a getting like
Mhm.
mm, yeah. So
Let me show you.
es- escape
Yeah,
escape on.
escape colon WQ. WQ. Okay, WQ is mainly for saving the contents and quitting
Okay.
from the file. Okay, so
Okay.
WQ is nothing but we are going to save the contents and we will be quitting the file. So nothing is there.
Yeah.
We is file1 or file name, whatever the file name you want to open. Just open the file and provide insert button, I button from your keyboard. Okay, press I button from your keyboard. I keyword. Then after that you can or type whatever the content you wanted to give. Okay. So I'm just giving like welcome, escape. You don't need to worry about, okay. Once after pressing escape button, you can directly go for colon WQ. Okay. Your contents will be saved. And then
Okay.
after saving the contents, if you want to understand whether your contents are saved or not, you can use a command called cat space file name so that you can see. So this is the content that I have provided. Okay. So VA editor, we will be discussing about VA editor also. Usually, we will understand about VA editor also in a very detailed manner. How, what are the commands? How can we use a VA editor? All those things also we will discuss. But for now, I'm just creating a file. I'm just opening a file by using VA editor. We are just using a command called VA space file name. That's it. So that the file opens, use escape button. Whatever the contents you want to provide, you can provide by pressing the insert button, and you can provide the contents escape colon WQ. Are you able to do now?
Yeah, I can able to do it now.
Okay.
The screen
So
was a little bit different than you, but it's okay. Like I'm getting right now.
yeah. So once you started practicing, then you will come to know. Okay, you will be getting all those things. No need to worry. So like that's what. So we have edited a file and we saved the contents and we could able to see the contents by using a command called cat space file name. So now, okay, that's fine. Now we know how to add contents to the file. Okay, we know how to add the contents to the file. If I want to remove the file, if I want to remove the file, now you see file one is not an empty file, right? File one is not an empty file. How to decide whether the file one is empty or not? File one, we can decide file one is empty or not by making sure that the contents are there or not. So we can run a command called cat space file name so that if it is displaying any contents, it is not an empty file. It is displaying the content that it is not an empty file. How to delete this file? Usually in the Windows environment, what we will do, if there is a file, we'll go to the file, we'll give a right click, we'll go to the more options and we will try to delete the file, right? We'll just click on delete, that's it, the file will be deleted. Then how to delete a file in the Linux environment? So we will simply use a command called rm space file name. Rm stands for remove. Rm stands for remove. We are removing the file. We are deleting the file. So I'm running this command rm space file name. And whenever I'm running this command, it is asking whether you want to remove the file or not. Yes, I would like to remove. I'm just pressing yes so that the file will be removed. I'm just giving yes and enter. The file will be removed. How to know whether the file is removed from there or not? Just give ls command to see. Do we have any files it is displaying? No. Earlier it was displaying, right? When I give ls command, it was displaying few files. Now when I'm giving ls command, it is not displaying any files. Okay. So use clear command to clear the screen. If the screen is okay, if the screen is filled with some command, if the screen is filled, it is the screen. If you don't want to display anything on the screen, just use clear command to clear the screen. Now I'm giving ls command. I don't have anything to display here. Now I know few commands like how to create a file. What are the commands that we have learned so far? We know how to create an empty file by using touch command. Okay, you see here, I'm going to create a file once again. I'm going to create a file once again. You see, I'm going to create touch space file one. I'm creating multiple files. You see, we can create multiple files by using the touch command. Touch space file name, file name. We are giving space between the two file names. Okay, this is one file name and this is another file name. So when I'm running this command, I'm giving ls to see the list of files that are created. Yes, two files were created. Two files got created, file one and file two. Both the files got created. Okay, is it okay? Now we are able to create multiple files by using the touch command. And anyhow, we know how to add the contents to the file by using VA editor. We can open the file by using VA editor and we can view the contents. Okay, we can delete the files and all. So how to delete the file? Usually, how to delete the file? We can delete the file by using rm command. If I want to delete a single file, I can delete a file by using rm space file one. Okay. Or if I want to remove the multiple files, I can specify rm space file one space file two. I can specify all the file names here. Remove, rm stands for remove command, rm space file one space file two. So we are going to remove all the files, existing files. So it is asking whether you want to remove file 1. Yes. Again, it will ask for the file 2. It will prompt for the file 2. You want to remove the file 2? Yes, I would like to remove file 2 also. So that time both the files will get deleted. I'm just giving ls command to see any files are running. Yes, now we don't have any files up and running. We don't have any files that is listing out. When I'm running ls command, it is not displaying any contents. It is not displaying any files or folders. Okay. So that's how a file will be created. I'm just using clear command to clear the screen. And we will also understand how to create a directory. How to create a directory? What do you mean by directory? You can see here.
Uh, Hello.
Yes, yes.
Can we create a text file? Can we create a PDF file using VI editor? Can we do that like that? Like how we are doing in Windows?
No, we cannot do that. We cannot do here. But whatever the files we have, okay, whatever the files we have, we can copy from. So suppose, usually in Linux environment, suppose consider we are using Windows environment and we have a Linux environment. Just assume. So in Windows, we have different file formats, right? We'll be using different file formats. So, but in Linux, we'll be creating a file. Okay, we will be calling it as a file and we'll be calling it as a directory. So we cannot go for. So usually, you can see here. I'm just running. Suppose, for example, there is an AML file. Okay, consider there is a file with format called AML. So once a file is available, okay, once a file is available, we can open the file. So Linux operating system is completely different, right? But it is not an user interface, right? We cannot interact with the interface. We cannot interact through the interface, right? So whatever the files that were there available in the Windows environment, the same files we cannot see here. The same files we cannot create by using Linux operating system. It is a complete different one. You
Yeah,
will
yeah.
understand slowly. You will understand slowly what are the things that what are the different ways we can create and open the files. Okay, how can we customize the files and all? You will understand slowly. We are going through that only.
We can edit the two files at a time. Can we do that, right?
Yes, we can do that.
Okay.
We,
Yeah.
I'll show you. Slowly keep on going. We will understand.
Mhm.
So let's understand the basic thing. So we are going to create a directory. We are just going to create a directory like name of the directory is like I'm going to create a directory called you see here in Windows how we are creating a folder. This is how we are creating a folder, right? I'm just giving a right click and we are creating a folder. So in the Linux environment, it will be called as a directory. So in the Linux environment, the structure, the creating files and creating directories will be different from the Windows environment. So now I'm going to create a directory in the Linux environment. There is a command we use for creating a directory in the Linux. mkdir, mkdir. What is the meaning of mkdir? Make directory. Make directory is the command that I am using for creating a directory. So what is the directory name I would like to provide? I am giving the directory name as D1 or otherwise sample. I would like to create a directory called sample. So I'm running this command so that the sample directory will be created. How to know whether this directory is created or not? I just wanted to know whether the sample directory is created or not. Just run ls command to see whether the sample directory is created or not. Yes, sample directory is created. And I would like to create one more directory called D1. I would like to create one more directory with a name called D1. I'm running this command. And I would like to see whether the D1 directory is created or not. Yes, D1 is created. Sample is also created. Sample is already there earlier. So now we have two directories, D1 and sample. Now I would like to create one file, empty file. I'm creating an empty file by running a command called touch space file1. And again, I'm using ls command to see what are the list of files and folders, list of files and directories that are available. So I have D1 directory, sample directory, file1. File1 is a file. So how we are differentiating here? Why? Because when I run ls command, you see it is displaying all the files and folders. Okay, Kaushik, it is displaying all the files and folders. But how we are differentiating that D1 is a directory and file1 is a file? You can see,
By color,
yeah,
maybe.
by color. Yeah, you see here there is a different color. Okay, so all the directories are indicating with some blue color, right? And all the files are indicating in some white color. All the files are indicated with white color, and all the directories are indicating with showing with blue color. So based on this color, we can go for identifying which one is a file and which one is a directory. Okay. If it is not like this, okay, if you are not able to identify through the color, there are other ways also we will see. Okay, we will discuss them. So I have created folder, I have created a directory, and I have created a file. But now my objective is I want to create a file inside the folder. Means I want to create, actually we should not use the terminology called folder here in the Linux environment. Okay, we should not use the terminology called folder. That's the terminology we use in Windows environment, but here we will call it as directory. So now I want to go inside a D1 directory and I would like to create a file. How to navigate? How to navigate to the directory called D1? So I'm running a command called cd space D1. What is the meaning of CD? CD stands for changing the directory. Now currently I am here in this path. You see, I am here in this path. If you want to know what is the location in which location you are residing, you just give a command called pwd. If you want to know the current path where you are residing now from, okay, so I just wanted to know my current location. I'm giving pwd. I am here at the root location. I am the root user. I know that. Why? Because it is clearly displaying. Now you are working everything as a root user. You have more privileges. And this is the location. Okay, this is the path. Slash root is the path. Now, if you want to know the location, if you want to know your current location, the command that you need to run is pwd. Pwd stands for print the working directory. Okay, print working directory or present working directory. What is our present working directory? Our present working directory is this one, root slash root. This is the present working directory. So that's how we will know our current location, okay, our current working directory. So now I would like to go inside a directory called D1. The command I use is cd space D1. cd space D1. cd stands for changing the directory. I would like to go inside D1. I had a directory already. You see, I had a directory already, D1. I want to go inside the directory D1. Usually, in the Windows environment, if I create a folder, I'll simply double click on the folder and I will go inside the folder. Okay. I'll double click on the folder and I'll go inside the folder here. In the same way, in the Linux environment, how to go inside the folder? We will use a command called cd space directory name. So that you see the path here, the path difference here. Earlier it was different and now it is different. Earlier, when I run this pwd command, it was showing like slash root. Now, if I run the pwd command, it is showing like slash root slash d1. The path is changing, right? Earlier, now my current location was slash root. Now my current location is slash root slash d1. I am inside the d1 now. I am inside d1. If I want to create any file inside this d1 folder, yes, inside the d1 directory, I can create any file. I am just creating a file here. So I'm creating three files here inside this. I'm creating three files here inside this D1 folder. Touch space X space Y space Z. X, Y, Z, three different files I'm creating. I'm giving ls command to see whether the files were created or not. X is a file, Y is a file, and Z is also a file. Okay. Touch is the basic command to create an empty file. X is an empty file. Y is also an empty file. Z is also an empty file. You understood, right? Okay, now where all these files are created, all these files were created inside the D1 folder. That's fine. Now I want to come back. I would like to come back. Now I am inside the D1 folder. I want to come back to my root location where I was earlier. I was in the root location. You see, I was earlier in the root location. Now I am inside the D1 folder. Okay. So now if I want to come back, I will give cd space double dot. You know the meaning of cd space double dot? Usually cd stands for changing the directory. cd stands for change directory. Okay. cd space dot represents the current location. The current location. You see, when I run cd space dot, no changes. We are there in the D1. Now also we are there in the D1. I'm running cd space dot. So cd space dot represents current location. It will display your current location. You are there in the, you are still in the current location only. If you want to go to the previous directory, you will give like cd space double dot. Once I give cd space double dot, you see, you will be moving to the previous, you'll be navigating to the previous location. And when I run here pwd, you can see slash root is the current location of yours. This is the current
Yeah,
location. Yeah.
we can also use backslash cd, right?
Yes.
Backslash
Yes.
instead of dot dot.
We have multiple folders. Okay. If we have multiple folders, we will use like suppose we'll see that. Okay. For now, let's go through the basic example. So we'll, if you have any doubts, we will discuss. So backslash in the sense like what you're asking, I don't understand. So usually we will use like, suppose if we want to go back to the multiple folders, we will follow this approach, cd space.
Now, for going back to the root user, we can use forward slash cd, right?
Sorry, this is the command you are saying.
No. The what I'm saying, the backward slash.
We are already in the root directory. Let me navigate cd space. I would like to go from D1. Okay, I would like to navigate to the directory called CD
Yeah,
is D1. Okay, D1 is the directory now. When
and
I'm
now
running
you can.
command, it is displaying all the files. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So now what
and
you're
now and now you can use the that I don't know, it's a forward slash or backward slash. The backward slash. No,
okay,
forward slash. Forward
okay,
slash.
okay.
Forward slash cd. You can go back to the root user.
We are going to the root directory. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you can. We can also use that command.
You can see, yes, we can also use this command. See, it is
Yeah.
up to us. Okay. It is up to us. Like there will be many approaches. Okay, there will be many approaches we can explore, and we can directly come back to the root location. So this is how actually we follow. Suppose if we want to navigate between the directories, we will use cd command. We are talking about a cd command. Cd stands for change directory. If you want to go, if you want to move to the next directory level, or if you want to come back to the previous directory levels, we'll use cd space double dot. Okay, cd space double dot is the command we use to go to move to the next directory levels or to come back to the previous directory levels. Okay. So ls command I'm giving, I'm having two directories here. D1 is one directory, sample is another directory, file1 is a file. All these are the things that I have. Now I have created a directory. Now I understood like how we understood how can we create a file inside the directory, right? We are navigating to the directory, cd space D1. We will create here files. We'll create some files here, touch space, a space B, A, B, C. We are giving three files. Okay, I'm creating three files, A, B, C, and I'm giving ls command to see whether the files were created or not. Okay, earlier I have created XYZ files in the D1 directory. Now I am creating ABC files. Totally, it is listing out all the 6 files. Okay, fine. Now I'm coming back to my original location. So this is my, you can see here by looking at this tilde symbol, you see, by looking at the tilde symbol earlier, when I navigated to some directory, it was displaying the directory name here. Now, when I come back to the, when I come back to my root location, so it is displaying the tilde symbol. By looking at the symbol also, we can understand that we have navigated to our current location. Fine. Now I would like to delete the directory that I've created. Anyhow, we understood how to delete a file, right? By using rm command, rm space file name. We know how to delete a file and all. We can run rm space file name so that we can remove the file and all, right? So I'm giving yes, so that the file will be deleted. File1 is deleted just by running rm space file name. How to delete a directory? I'm going to delete a directory by running a command called rmdir sample. Do you know the meaning of rmdir? Rmdir stands for removing the directory. I would like to remove the directory. What is the name of the directory that I would like to remove? This one, sample. So I'm deleting this one. And run ls command to see whether sample directory is deleted or not. Yes, sample directory is deleted. And I would like to delete D1 directory also. Is it possible to delete the D1 directory? I'm going to delete the D1 directory by running the same command. You see, I'm going to use the same command to delete the D1 directory also. What is the difference between D1 directory and sample here? So sample is an empty directory. D1 is not an empty directory. Sample doesn't have any file. Sample directory does not contain any files. Just now we have said sample is an empty directory. So if it is an empty directory, we can delete empty directory by running a command. We can delete an empty directory. Okay. You see here, we can delete the empty directory by running a command called rmdir sample. Remove the directory, moving the directory. But if it is a directory which is having some contents, okay, if the directory is already having some contents, we can run a command called rm space -r. Rm space -r. Okay, I'll tell you the meaning of rm space -r. What is the meaning? We are going to remove the recursive contents first. Rm removing, Rm stands for remove, -r stands for recursive contents. And what is the directory name? D1. First, we are going to remove the recursive contents. This is the command we need to use if the directory is already having some files or folders. Okay. So rm space -r D1, we are going to remove the D1 directory. I'm just pressing enter. Let's see here. Running this command. If I want to remove the directory, I will give yes. So that you want to, if first it is asking, you see, you want to go inside the directory. You want to descend into the directory D1, yes. And you want to remove the empty file there, yes. I would like to remove the files over there. And if you want to remove the files like why, say for each and every file, it is asking for your confirmation. You want to remove the file X, you want to remove the file Y, and you want to remove the file Z. And still we have many files, right? A, okay. And finally, okay, after taking confirmation for all the files, you are deleting a directory, right? You are deleting a directory called D1. And it is asking the confirmation for each and every file. You want to delete file X, Y, Z, A, B, C, all these files. And then you want to delete a directory. Yes, if you provide yes, then it will be deleted. That's it. So if you want to delete a directory, which is recursive means which is having some contents. The directory which is having some contents can be deleted by using a command called rm space -r. Okay, rm space -r is the directory. Rm space -r is the command we use for removing the recursive directories. Recursive directory in the sense directory which is having some folders and files. Okay, this is how we will delete it.
Actually, one more. Like we can delete directly by giving rm space x. We can like that we can do delete,
We
or
can,
else we need to give d1 only.
yeah, we can delete.
We
Yeah.
can delete, right? Okay.
So it is up to us. Suppose, see, this is the basic procedure. Like there will be, see, so for doing a particular task, there will be multiple commands. Okay, we can follow anything. It's up to us.
Okay.
Whichever is
So
handy for us, whichever is handy for us, and whichever is flexible for us, we can use those commands. That's not a problem.
and we can give y also, right? Or else we need to give total s.
We can give y also. No need to
Okay.
give yes.
Okay.
Yeah, here you see, in the last I just give y. That's it. Here also we can give only simple y. We can proceed. And one more difference I would like to tell you here. This is an Amazon Linux operating system, right? So what I observed is in the Amazon Linux, when I go to the Amazon Linux operating system in the AWS cloud, it is asking like for these confirmations and all. But when you go to the other operating systems, we have other operating systems like Ubuntu, some other operating systems are there, right? You can go to, we have CentOS, Ubuntu, other operating systems are there. So when you just try to connect to those operating systems, to those servers, okay, which are launched with those operating systems. So maybe the approach is different. It will not ask you whether, it will not ask for your confirmation. It will not prompt. It will not prompt for your confirmation and all. Okay. So that's the difference that you might also observe when you work with multiple operating systems. You understood, right? So however it is asking now, so how it is asking for our confirmation now while deleting the files and all, maybe for some different operating systems, it will not ask. Directly the files will be deleted, files and folders will be deleted. Anyhow, by using the cd command, we know how to navigate to the folder. Let's see, ls command. I don't have any files and folders now. And if I want to create any folder, yes, I can create a folder mkdir d1 folder again. I'm giving ls command to see the directory is created or not. Yes, directory d1 is created. Now I would like to go inside the now I would like to go inside the directory. Okay, now I would like to go inside the directory called d1. I'm just running ls command to see any files. So I usually just now this directory d1 is created and I'm going inside the directory d1. And inside the directory d1, I don't have any files. Okay. And if you want to create another directory inside this d1, yes, we can do it by using this command mkdir d2. You know what we are doing is right. We are creating a directory called d1 and navigating inside a directory called d1. I'm creating another directory called d2 here inside the d1. So now you see d1 inside d1, I have one directory called d2. If I want to navigate to the directory d2, I can run a command called cd space d2. Again, you give ls command. We don't have any files. If you want to create any folder, subfolders like, if you want to create any subfolders inside the d1, now you tell me what is the, you see here, what is the root folder now? What is the root directory? Can you tell me what is the root directory that I have created?
D1.
D1 is the root directory that I have created. Inside the root directory, I am creating subfolders. I am creating subfolders. You see, D1 is the directory I have created. Root, this is the root directory. And inside D1, I have created D2. Now we can say D2 is the child directory for D1. Otherwise, we can say for D2, D1 is the parent directory. For D3, D2 is the parent directory, like that. So, you know, in the Windows environment, right, we will create one folder and we will come inside this folder and we will create another folder. Okay. And we will go that folder again. So creating folders within the folders. How we are doing it in the Windows environment? In the same way, when I open this new folder, I'm having one folder again. Again, if I open the new folder, I'm having one more new folder, like that. So creating folders within the folders. In the same way, in the Linux environment also, we can create directories. Okay, we can create a directory within the directory. We can create directory within the directory. So that is also possible. If you want to navigate to each and every directory level, simply, okay, to go back to the next level directories, there are many other possible ways. Whenever we go through the commands and all, you will come to know. But for now, you try to start using cd space double dot to navigate to the previous directories. If you are in the next level, if you want to go back to the previous directory, then you can use cd space double dot to understand. Okay, now we are in the root level only. You can see by just running the pwd command. How can I confirm that I am at the root level? You by looking at the tilde symbol. You look at this tilde symbol. Look at the tilde symbol. So you can understand that you are at the. So now I am the root user. You see, now I am the root user. I want to switch as a normal user. Okay, I want to switch as a normal user. You can simply give a command called logout. You can simply give a command called logout. So when I log out, you see what is the username that I am able to see here? The username that I am able to see is user EC2 user. Earlier it was root user. Now I am able to switch as a EC2 user. Kaushik, can you tell me what is the command again we need to use to switch from normal user to the root user?
Sudo su.
Sudo su hyphen. Okay. Sudo
Hyphen, yeah.
Yeah, sudo su hyphen is the command we use to switch from normal user to the root user. This is how we switch from normal user to the root user. We have different users in the Linux. Okay, we will be discussing about all those things. So the next thing is, so we understood now basic how to create a file, how to remove the file, how to edit the file and give the contents, how to remove the how to create a directory and how to remove the directory, all those things. And at the same time, we should also understand the file permissions. We should know the file permissions. Okay, before we go and understand the file permissions, we have several commands to understand. So we understood now what is ls command. Okay, what is ls command? So when I'm running ls command, it is displaying only one folder. Why? Because we have only one folder, d1. That's why it is displaying that folder name. Okay, I'm running clear screen and I'm running ls. You see, I'm just giving ls. It is displaying d1. I want to know more details about this D1 directory. I want to know the more details. When I'm giving ls command, it is displaying only D1 directory is available. Yes, that's fine. But I want to know more details. Like when did this D1 is created? When did this directory called D1 is created? All those things I would like to understand. So if I want to understand, I can simply give the combination with ls command. I have some combination like ls space -l. Okay, so that it will display the details, all the more details. Okay, few more details about that particular file or directory. So I have only one directory and it is displaying more details about the directory. So D1 is the directory. It was created on this particular date. It was created on this particular time. Okay, and this is the size of the file 16. Always the size of the file or folder will be represented in the form of bytes. One byte equal to 8 bits. So 16 bytes. The size of the file is 16 bytes. And we need to understand what is this root and root here. And what about this one? These are the file permissions or directory permissions. If it is a file, we will call it as file permissions. If it is a directory, we'll call it as directory permissions. Okay, and we have 3 here. Everything we will understand in the further session. Okay, we are going to understand each and everything in the further session so that we will be good. Okay, at least when we are working with the Linux environment, we should understand all these things. What are the different types of users we have? What is the file permission? How we need to identify, how we need to modify the file permissions? All these things we'll be understanding in the next session. Any questions you have? Please practice. So there are many basic Linux commands. Don't restrict to the Linux commands that we are teaching and that we are discussing here. Please go through the Google and search like what are the other basic Linux commands. Okay, we have. Please practice. Just connect to the Linux server. Practice all the Linux commands. Okay, and you should be very. You should practice in such a way like you should get all the commands in hand. Okay, that's how you need to practice. Any questions for today? No questions. We'll stop this for today. Let's
Vamsi,
continue tomorrow. Yeah, please.
actually, so we have discussed root location directory, right?
Yes.
And what is the difference between root location and directory?
This one.
Ah,
See,
root and directory.
not root location. Actually, this is the username. Whatever the thing that is printing here, it is a username. Okay.
Okay.
So now you see here, it is a root user. It is what we are saying that there are different users. Like as I told you, when I log out, or otherwise when you initially connect, you will be connecting like EC2 user. This is the username. So how you are connecting to this server? You are connecting as an EC2 user. And if you want more privileges, you can switch as a root user. Okay. So maybe you see here, I'm running pwd command here. I'm running pwd command here. I'm able to see this path. This is the directory that is printing home/ec2 user. This is the directory that it is. This is the path that is printing. And when you go to the root location, when I'm running the pwd command, you see here the path is different, right? This is for the ec2 user. This is the regular user path. So if any person connected as a regular user, if he creates any files, all those files can be found here in this location. And if I create, if any person logged in as a root user, if I am the admin, if I logged in as a root user, and whatever the files directories I create, all of them will be present in this current location, in this particular location. The location is different. That's it. This is
Okay.
one path and this is another path. I will tell you. Okay, we will be discussing in detail. You will understand. No worries.
Vamsi, do you know why? I mean, sorry, like there's an internet issue with me. So, what is the command that ls hyphen l? So, why do we use that?
Yeah, to get the more information about the directory. Suppose when I'm giving ls command, it is displaying only the list of files and directories, right? So I want to know a few more details about this directory. Okay. Suppose for example, ls-l I am running. When I'm running this command, it is displaying more information about the directory. You see, directory D1 was created on September 5 at this particular time, 222. So it is taking the cloud timing. No worries about these timings and all. It is just displaying more details. September 5, it was created. At this particular time, it is created. And what is the size of this file? And we need to understand what is the file permissions, all these things. I will be discussing with you in the next session.
Okay.
ls is a command which will display the list of files and directories that are available. Okay. But if I give ls-l, it will provide us a more detailed information about that particular file or directory. Okay. You will understand. No worries.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you all. There is one more session for the other batch, not for us actually. That is another SQL, I think, Oracle SQL batch. Okay. Anyhow, thank you. We'll meet tomorrow for the next session.